The problem that women that came back from the bush, like child mothers who has children and they're now back in the community, they are facing some three keys problem. Number one is finger pointing, because if they are living in the community or wherever they are staying, people like saying, in case one of their child or they themselves did something wrong, they say, okay, this is a bush person, now he's trying to do this because of his madness, it's his brain, or his traumatized brain. And secondly, their children who always live in the community with other children who has never been to church alive, they also went through difficulties of saying these kids are not trained, or these kids are not having humility, or they don't have respect, because any problem that any child is causing, they will say, okay, this is a bush child. They like finger pointing, saying every time bush child or is born in the bush, I don't know this and this and this and this, and yeah, those are the problems that they are facing. And also with the men that getting love with, because some of them, they don't have their own husband that they were given from the bush when they are still there in the captivity. But now when they return home, it's difficult to get married to a local man who has never been to rebel system or a military system, because they find it difficult for them to move together, because women, they are so much open and they live life of the truth. So some men here, they're not trustworthy in the activity they do in their home, or how they behave in their affair. So women, they feel like they cannot live with those men here because they don't trust them and they don't value them, they don't respect them. So those are the key problems that women, they are facing. The government of Uganda are not giving really help to them, except bringing them to the rehabilitation center where they get some training of about trauma, or trying to release them from the trauma or the stress they have been through. But now when they go back to the village in the community, they are on their own, whereby they have to begin struggling from zero level. And Third Hope Uganda is seeing in that area, saying, okay, if somebody has been in the bush from their childhood, now return home with the kids and don't know where to start life from, we look at, okay, how can we make a person feel like better in the community? That's why we are trying to help their children, paying for their children at school, and also give them any help of business, which they can also learn by their own, by not leaning on others or government bodies. So Third Hope Uganda is working with the children that were born in the bush, also besides working with the former child soldiers, because other NGOs or other organizations has been only dealing with child soldiers. Child soldiers, if you are abducted, you come home, they work with you, or they work with child mothers. But we are looking at, what about the children who were born from there? Now, when they return home, who is supposed to take care of them? Because first of all, their father is dead, and they don't know their father's family, and they don't know where they belong. Some of them were rescued from the wartime without their parents, so they don't know, they don't have any identity. So we are looking at giving them back to the community, or anybody who want to help, and we are working with some widows in the community who want to adopt them. Then we support them from there so that they can learn culture and activities of the community life. So we are working with the children that were born from the bush and the children who has no parent and they return from the bush, besides working with former child soldiers or child mothers. Many NGOs were doing tailoring, brick building, and all this sort of education thing, you know. But we are looking at, okay, here in Northern Uganda, what activity can bring money into them quickly? Because they did not went to school, but they want to get job. And they want to have job now, and they have money now. And if they did not have those things, then they are in a problem. They can cause problem. So we were looking at, okay, if we pick out one of the activity of education or part of learning equipment, but saying repairing refrigerator or small machine like generator for the youth, and also maybe taking some women into driving school so that they can also learn to drive, because women, they're also good people who can drive and they can master really driving very well. Then they can be employed as a driver in other organizations too. So we are looking into equipping them so that they can have a quick work money, you know. Integration can be done, but it will take long, because first of all, people lose the one they love. This is difficult to let that go. They can forgive, but not forget. And they should forgive, but they don't feel more pain after they think about it. That is what can make the integration okay. Because if people can still forgive and they go back to their own villages, but they are not yet united with their neighbor, then that integration is not yet working fully. But I believe it can take years when people understand about third hope in their life, the third hope of forgiveness and love and accepting somebody back again in your life. Then integration can also work, because at least people can live again and accept one another. And when they see somebody who did wrong to them, they don't feel pain anymore. That's a real integration that can come into their life. And people have been in the IDP camp and they went back home, now starting constructing a new hut or building for themselves and making the compound smooth as it was, planting trees again, like mangoes that was burned already by fire, destroyed by fire. It might take a while, and I think I cannot guess about that, because it depends on how the community catching up with their neighbors or the government officials or other bodies helping them to make sure that they have their dream that they might expect to come again when they are back in their community. So that might take a while.